She looked me dead in the eye and said, "You don't get a say. We're not married." That sentence stuck in my head like a bad jingle. And just like that, I stopped trying to make her feel at home in my house. Because it wasn't hers. Not anymore. My name is Ethan Carter. I'm 38 years old and I live in the outskirts of Austin, Texas. Quiet green, full of birdsong in the morning and cicadas at night. I inherited my house from my grandmother who raised me after my mom passed. It's a simple place, 2 bedrooms, wraparound porch brick fireplace that still crackles in winter. I work from home as an indie game designer. That means I spend a lot of time in my own head and in my own house. Until recently, I thought I shared that house with my girlfriend Camila. We'd been together for a little over 2 years. She moved in around month 18 after her lease downtown ended, and we figured we were heading that direction anyway. She said that with a wink. Like it was romantic. At first it was fine. She moved her skincare fridge into the bathroom. I cleared out a drawer. I even let her repaint the kitchen cabinets, a soft pastel mint she saw on Pinterest. Suddenly there were throw pillows in every chair, weird ceramic bowls that held nothing, and scented candles in places no candle should ever go. She made the house brighter, no doubt. But somewhere along the way it stopped feeling like mine. Camila's a fashion influencer. TikTok, Instagram, Threads Live, she's always online, always loud, always performing. Her crew, the Sparkle Coven, was never far behind. Tessa, Blake, and Zara. Always coming over drinking flavored seltzer, shrieking like middle schoolers at a sleepover. They'd turn my quiet Sundays into full-on content shoots. Once I came downstairs in my pajamas and found Blake standing on the coffee table taking a slow-mo of Camila in a neon jumpsuit doing a fake laugh. For likes. They didn't even notice me. Still, I let it go. I guess I believed that if I just stayed easygoing, things would settle. They didn't. Last month I was making dinner spaghetti bolognese, the way Grandma used to, and Camila waltzed into the kitchen in her platform, sandals and cropped jean jacket, phone pressed to her ear. She didn't greet me, didn't ask what I was cooking, just said loudly into her phone, "Oh my God, yes. I'm in. I need a weekend away, so bad." No, obviously he's not coming. Don't be ridiculous. She hung up and smiled at me. "Good news," she said, like she was doing me a favor. "The girls and I are going to a luxury spa retreat in Wimberley. Leaving tomorrow morning." I stirred the sauce and tried to keep my voice light. "Oh, which spa?" Simple question, right? Just, where? She blinked at me like I'd insulted her ancestors. "Why do you need to know?" she asked. "Just logistics. Safety. In case something happens. You know." Before I could finish, the front door opened. Tessa and Blake walked in uninvited, already laughing about some filter. Camila turned to them dramatically. "Can you believe this? He wants to know where I'm going." Tessa scoffed. "He's acting like a jealous husband." Camila spun back to me, hands on hips. "Ethan, stop acting like we're married. You don't get a say in where I go or who I'm with." And they all laughed. In my kitchen. In my house. She patted my cheek like I was some confused old man, then disappeared into the living room with her girls shrieking about swimsuits and ring lights. I stood there in front of the stove, wooden spoon dripping sauce onto the tile floor. And something in me just shut off. Not in anger, not in sadness. It was like a light switch flipped. The part of me that had tried to make this work, tried to be understanding, tried to be cool, it stood up, put on a metaphorical hat, and left the building. All that was left was clarity. She said, "We're not married. I don't get a say." Okay then. The next morning would be the beginning of a new plan. A plan she had unknowingly written for me. Because if I don't get a say in her life, then she sure as hell doesn't get one in mine. The next morning I woke up before sunrise. The coffee tasted stronger. The air felt lighter. Even the floorboards didn't creak the way they usually did when she was sleeping upstairs. Camila had left before dawn, suitcase in hand, already live streaming in the Uber. She didn't kiss me goodbye, didn't even glance back. That was fine by me. Because I wasn't wasting this weekend sulking. No, I had plans. My first stop next door. Carol Nichols is 74 years old, sharp as a tack, and a retired Navy trauma nurse. She keeps a binocular set by her window and a journal titled Suspicious Activity. She sees everything, and when I walked onto her porch holding a lemon pound cake from H-E-B, she already had her robe on and was pouring coffee for two. "Ethan," she smiled, "you look like a man about to do something either very stupid or very satisfying." "Maybe both," I said, handing her the cake. "We Saturday," she sliced a piece. Then I told her what Camila had said, word for word. When I got to the part about "you don't get a say," Carol stopped mid-bite and squinted. She said that, in your kitchen, right in front of Tessa and Blake. Carol let out a low whistle and reached for her notebook. "What do you need me to do?" "I need a little theater," I said. "When she comes back Sunday night, she's going to be surprised. I just want you to say a few lines if she runs over here asking questions." Oh, honey. She leaned forward, absolutely delighted. Give me a script and I'll make Meryl Streep look like an amateur. Carol was in. Next step, Operation Reset. The house for the last 6 months had slowly stopped looking like mine. The walls used to be wood-paneled homey. Now they were sage gray. My bookshelf had been replaced by floating cubes with plants I wasn't allowed to touch. Even the fridge had sticky notes about protein balance and organic-only zones. Not anymore. I grabbed 6 moving boxes from the garage, a thick black marker, and went to work. Box 1, designer. Clothes for brunches I wasn't invited to box. 2 skincare products that cost more than my rent in college box. 3 shoes that could snap ankles. Box 4, drama outfits with excess glitter box. 5 books she never read but bought for aesthetic box. 6 miscellaneous TikTok trash. Her ring light went into the box like a fallen disco stick. The vanity mirror unplugged. The perfume collection bubble wrapped. I even wrapped the fragile Live Laugh Love wall decal she stuck over the kitchen sink. Every trace of her curated personality was carefully removed. I wasn't being cruel. I was being clean. Around noon, I used an app to hire 2 movers college kids with a truck. We hauled everything into a storage unit 2 miles away. I paid for the first month. Labeled it. Took pictures. Sent it all to my personal drive. A non-married gesture of goodwill. With the house empty, the fun part began. I rolled up the gray rug, Camila said, tied the room together, and replaced it with a red checkered picnic blanket from my camping gear. It looked ridiculous. But it was mine. I listed her pearl white couch online and sold it to a college couple for $250. Bought myself a deep brown leather recliner triple wide with built-in cup holders, massagers, and USB chargers. Her sad little geometric coffee table gone. In its place, a 1,980-second pinball machine. Still lit up, still chimed, didn't work, didn't matter. Over the bed, I took down the woven wall art. Put up a framed print of a bear catching a salmon mid-leap. That to me was peace. But my pièce de résistance came Saturday afternoon. I walked into the local shelter just to browse. An hour later, I walked out with Gus. Gus is a Great Dane, a lean, drooly 140-pound gentle giant with paws the size of Camila's face. He walked through the door like he owned the place, sniffed once, turned 3 slow circles, then plopped right onto the leather recliner, his back legs hanging off the edge like a lazy king. I laughed so hard I nearly cried. That night, I changed all the Wi-Fi passwords. The new network name not married, no access password move out. 1, 2, 3, 4. I also locked the fridge with a little note. This appliance now operates under a monogamous agreement. Sunday evening, Gus and I watched a rerun of Jeopardy. I made chili. He got a spoonful. We both fell asleep in front of the fire. The doorbell rang at exactly 8:53 p.m. Gus barked once. Deep. Then went back to sleep. I picked up my phone and checked the video feed. Camila was home. She smiled at the door like everything was normal, then slid her key into the lock. And it didn't turn. Camila jiggled the key again, harder this time. Then again. Her smile faltered. She stepped back and squinted at the house like it had betrayed her. I watched her through the camera feed on my phone, sitting on my leather throne, a beer in one hand, Gus's drool-drenched head in the other. She banged on the door. Ethan, what the hell, my key's not working. Gus opened one eye, huffed, and went right back to sleep. The banging continued. I muted the television. Then my phone started vibrating, her name lighting up the screen like a Christmas tree on fire. Call the 1st of December lined. Call the 2nd of December lined. Call 345, same. I knew the script. She was spiraling. 10 minutes in, the doorbell rang. And that's when it was time for Carol's performance. Her porch light flicked on like a stage spotlight. She stepped outside in her housecoat holding a watering can she didn't need. Oh, Camila, sweetheart, that you... Camila spun around like she'd seen a ghost. Mrs. Nichols, thank God. I can't get in. My key won't work. Is Ethan inside? I saw the lights. Carol tilted her head face soft with faux confusion. Oh, he's definitely home, dear. I saw him earlier walking that big old dog of his. Dog? Camila blinked. Ethan doesn't have a dog. Carol gasped like she'd just remembered a juicy secret. Oh, didn't he tell you? He adopted a Great Dane yesterday. Gus, a real sweetheart. Says he needed a loyal companion who doesn't roll their eyes at him. Camila's mouth parted slightly, brows knitting. Carol continued like she was reading from Shakespeare. Said it was time to reclaim his space. Redecorated everything. Called it his bachelor rebirth. Said it's finally a man's house again. Camila looked from Carol to the door. Then to the living room window. She slowly stepped toward the glass and peered inside. From my seat, I saw her silhouette lean, close hands cupped to block the reflection. And then oh, the moment. She saw it all. The rug, the recliner, the pinball machine flashing its neon welcome, the framed bear poster in the hallway, Gus curled up like royalty. And me. Bear in hunt. Relaxed. Grinning. She froze, pressed her forehead to the glass. Then she screamed. A raw, confused, almost feral sound. I waited for the next act. Sure enough, seconds later, came the tsunami of texts. What is going on? Where is my stuff? Why are you doing this to me? Ethan, this is psychotic. Answer me right now. I let them pile up. 23 unread messages in 4 minutes. Then I responded. One text. Just one. You said we're not married. That I don't get a say. I agree. This is my house. You don't get a say in how I live in it anymore. Your belongings are safely stored at Unit 42 SafeLock Storage. Code is 1234. You have 1 month. Take care. Then I blocked her number. I put my phone on silent, turned the volume back up, and scratched behind Gus's floppy ear. Outside, Camila stood there, fists clenched, frozen in disbelief. She screamed again. This time at the door, then at the sky, then at absolutely nothing. She stomped toward the yard and threw her phone across the lawn. And right on cue, Tessa's white Lexus pulled up. Camila stormed into the car like a soap opera villain, muttering, shouting, flailing her arms. Tessa looked stunned. They peeled off without looking back. She told me I didn't have a say. So I gave her what she asked for. And the silence after she left, it was the first real peace I'd had in months. I thought the story might end there. I was wrong. Because Camila wasn't the type to go down quietly. The next morning, the internet campaign began. First, it was a series of vague Instagram stories. Black and white selfies. Sad music in the background. A caption that read, "Sometimes the ones you trust the most betray you the worst." Then came the TikToks. Dramatic voiceovers. Hashtags like, healing, toxic men, know your worth. One post showed a photo of her standing in front of a mirror wiping a fake tear. Point of view, you gave him everything and he kicked you out for buying glitter. The comments from her followers flooded in. Girl, you deserve better. You're a queen. Rise above. Men are trash. This is why I'm staying single forever. I didn't say a word. Didn't text. Didn't comment. Didn't react. But I wasn't ignoring it either. Because I had a plan. On Tuesday, I posted 3 photos to my private Facebook visible only to mutual friends. Just 3. No captions at first. Just the images. Photo 1. My living room before. The bland gray couch. The crystal vase she insisted be empty for balance. A copy of the 4 agreements on the coffee table she never read. Photo 2. My living room now. Gus sprawled on the leather recliner. Pinball machine blinking in the corner. My framed poster of a bear mid-hunt glowing softly above the hallway. Photo 3A selfie. Me and Gus. I'm smiling. He's got his tongue halfway out, tail-wagging paw on my chest like he owns the place. Then I added one caption. Decided to redecorate after a helpful reminder that I'm not married and don't get a say in things. So I'm embracing the freedom. Number no say no stay. Number? Gus is my roommate. That post? Blew up. Within an hour, mutual friends started commenting. Wait, what? Okay, now this makes sense. Yo, this is next level calm revenge. Is Gus single? People started resharing my post, sending laughing emojis, commenting under Camila's vague posts with context matters. She deleted 2 of her TikToks within the day. Tessa posted one last half-hearted meme about toxic masculinity, then went dark. Zara unfollowed both of us. And Blake shockingly DM'd me. Okay, that was savage, and kinda beautiful. I didn't answer. But not everything was funny. Because on Friday I got a letter in the mail. From a lawyer. An actual envelope, fancy letterhead, legal language and all. Camila was demanding immediate access to the home to retrieve her wrongfully withheld property. Financial compensation for unjust removal and emotional distress. A formal apology for publicly humiliating her via social media. I read it 3 times. Then I forwarded it to David, my longtime lawyer and former college roommate. 10 minutes later, he replied with, "This might be the most ridiculous threat I've ever read. Mind if I have fun with it?" By all means, I wrote back. David's response was poetic. A copy of the property deed with only my name. Proof of mortgage payments made solely by me. Screenshots of Camila's posts saying we're not married. An itemized list of rent, utilities, groceries, and internet over 6 months with a polite inquiry as to whether she'd be reimbursing me. Final line. My client has lawfully secured and stored the claimant's belongings and extended a generous grace period of 30 days for collection. If the claimant wishes to pursue further legal action, we welcome the opportunity to respond in court with receipts. We never heard from that lawyer again. The storm had passed. And in its place, silence. I started waking up early again, making coffee the way I like it, listening to vinyl on quiet Sunday mornings while Gus tried to catch birds through the glass. He failed every time, but he never gave up. And something about that felt comforting. Life wasn't beige anymore. It was mine. I used to think justice looked like a courtroom. Turns out sometimes it looks like a drooling Great Dane with a couch. Because while Camila's social media campaign fizzled out, mine was just beginning. I didn't try to go viral. But Gus did. A week after the lawyer letter debacle, I took Gus to Zilker Park. It was sunny. He was happy. And people kept stopping us like we were celebrities. Is that the dog from the photos? Wait, are you that Ethan? Dude, the bear poster guy. Apparently, my before and after post had leaked beyond my friend list. Screenshots, Reddit reposts. Threads titled, "He turned his beige prison into a bachelor palace," to Enable. Even a meme format with Gus wearing sunglasses. And the caption, "Didn't get a say, now he's king." People were rooting for me. Which felt weird at first. But also, kinda amazing. Especially when Camila tried to reclaim the narrative. She uploaded one last reel. A tear-filled monologue shot in a car. The caption, "You can lose your home, your heart, and still keep your truth." Number still standing. It lasted 48 hours online. Because someone stitched it with a zoom in on my number no say no stay post, and Gus's face mashed against the recliner like a melted marshmallow. The audio. This you. Internet undefeated. Then came Chardonnay. Yes, that Chardonnay. The third member of the Sparkle Coven. The quiet one. The one who usually wore oversized sunglasses and said little but always smirked in the background. She approached me at the dog park. Hair pulled back. No makeup. Holding a cappuccino she clearly bought just to fidget with. "Ethan," she asked cautiously. "Hey," I said standing. "Wow. Haven't seen you since?" "The kitchen showdown," she said, half smiling. "I remember." There was a long pause. Gus wandered up, tail wagging. She bent down and scratched his ears. He licked her wrist like they'd been friends forever. She looked up at me. "Listen. I wanted to say, I'm sorry. That night, we were way out of line." I shrugged. "You weren't the one who said it." "No," she said. But I laughed. I stayed silent. That makes me part of it. We sat down on the grass, a comfortable distance between us. She took a breath. "She called me last week," Chardonnay said, eyes narrowing. "Said her parents are making her get a job. Blamed you for ruining her life." I raised an eyebrow. "I ruined her life by doing what she said." "Exactly," Chardonnay nodded. "You didn't yell. You didn't curse. You didn't throw her out. You just believed her. And that's what destroyed her narrative." Gus rolled onto his back legs in the air like a furry beached whale. She laughed. "Honestly, looks like you're doing just fine." "I am," I said, surprising myself with how true it felt. And I was. A local lifestyle blog reached out that week, asked if they could do a piece titled, "The Accidental Bachelor: How One Man and His Dog Took the Internet by Storm." I declined. But the fact that they asked, that was enough. I never heard from Camila again. But I did hear from the storage unit company. Apparently she showed up on day 28. Not to pick up everything, just to grab what she called her non-negotiables: 3 wigs, a box of crystals, and her skincare fridge. The rest? Abandoned. Which after 30 days became mine. Legally. I donated most of it. Some I sold. Enough to cover Gus's food for a whole year. Felt poetic. She left behind her mascara and heels. I kept my silence. And my dog. They say revenge is best served cold. But this wasn't cold. It was warm, soft, silent. Like the way Gus breathes when he's dreaming. A month passed. The house didn't feel empty. It felt whole. Every corner had me in it again. The tiny hallway bookshelf I rebuilt from reclaimed oak. The dusty console table where I placed my grandfather's war medals. The hand-painted sign by the front door that said simply, "Carter's House, knock with beer." Even the silence had changed. It no longer felt like lack. It felt like space. Room to move, to think, to be. Camila used to fill the house with noise voice memos, FaceTime calls, rehearsed laughter, clinking bottles, the rhythmic clack of her heels on tile like she was always walking toward a performance. Now the only sound that echoed in my home was the thud of Gus's tail whenever I came down the stairs. Sometimes I'd find old strands of glitter in the floorboards. I didn't sweep them. I let them stay. Not because I missed her, but because even glitter eventually fades, and I wanted to remember. She didn't break me. She freed me. One Thursday morning, I ran into Zara, yes, that Zara, at the local co-op. She was holding a crate of kombucha and wearing sunglasses indoors. I waved politely. She hesitated, then walked over. Hey, Ethan, she said slowly, as if tasting the word. Morning, I said, casual as warm toast. She tilted her head. You seem really happy. I am. She blinked. Camila said you went off the rails, that you lost everything after she left. I smiled. Well, I lost her. And everything else I gained. She chuckled despite herself. She's not doing great, by the way, Zara murmured. Parents cut her off. No more brand deals after the social blowback. She moved in with her cousin in Fort Worth. Works part-time at a boutique and still blames you for everything. I just nodded. Zara added more softly. You made your point, and honestly, I think she got the message. I didn't say a word, I said. Zara looked at me long and strange. Exactly. Some people scream to be heard, others just walk away. And silence echoes longer than shouting ever could. That weekend, I found Gus staring at something in the backyard. He was completely still. Alert. A turtle. Slow. Ancient. Completely unbothered by Gus's massive looming shadow. Gus barked once softly like he was announcing a guest. Then Saturday, didn't chase it. Didn't growl. Just watched. Like he understood. And I realized so did I. I understood what I had been missing for too long. Stillness. Not boredom. Not absence. Stillness. The kind that comes when you stop fighting for someone who never fought for you. When you stop begging to be included in a life that doesn't leave room for you. One night I pulled out the last unopened box Camila had left behind. I had stored it in the attic untouched. It was labeled in her handwriting. Ethan's things, no aesthetic value. Inside, a faded college hoodie, she said, was too frumpy. A mug I made in pottery class with a chip in the handle. A photo of my mom in black and white holding a 6-year-old me by the lake. My childhood journal. I sat down on the hardwood floor and flipped it open. On the inside cover was a note written in shaky crayon. One day I'll have a big dog. He won't run away. He'll sleep in my room and never leave me. I looked over at Gus. He was sprawled across the floor, one paw on my foot, his big tongue flopping out the side of his mouth in a sleep snore. I smiled. Full. Content. Finally. Home. The pinball machine still doesn't work. But I kept it. It lights up, makes people laugh, beeps when it wants attention. Camila once called it a waste of space. Now it's the first thing people comment on when they visit. Man, I love that thing. So do I. Because like me, it may be a little broken. But it still lights up. A few months later, Carol called me from her porch. Mail's here, she said. And there's a letter. Handwritten. It was from Camila. No return address. Just a gold foil sticker sealing it shut. I opened it while standing by the fence. Inside, I still think you overreacted. But I understand why you did it. I wasn't fair. I wasn't kind. I didn't respect you the way you respected me. And honestly, I thought you'd beg. But you didn't. And that hurt worse than any screaming match. I hope Gus is doing okay. See. No apology, just a subtle admission. No rage, just the truth. I folded the letter once, put it in the back of my old journal. Not to keep it alive, but to remind myself where I've been. If someone ever tells you who they are, believe them. If they tell you that you don't get a say, then walk away. Not out of anger, but out of love for yourself. Because peace is never found in someone else's permission. It's found in the stillness you create after the noise is gone. Gus and I still take walks every day. We take different routes now. No rush, no noise, no matching schedule. Just me, him, and the quiet confidence that we are exactly where we're supposed to be. She said I didn't get a say. Now in her life, I truly don't. And in mine, she never will again. And that is the happiest ending I could ever ask for. Asterisk. You've followed this journey to the end, so I have a question for you. If someone told you that you didn't matter, would you fight back? Or would you walk away and rebuild stronger, quieter, and freer? Let me know in the comments. And if you have a family story that deserves to be heard, share it. Subscribe for more stories like this. You never know, the next one might be yours. Asterisk.